Okay, so when it comes to microphone testing, you end up being surrounded by microphones. Anyway, that is the Behringer microphone that I always use. You're used to listening to me on this. I have a secondary Behringer mic also, which I do normally use. And this one is the same as that one. It's just podcasting. I use multiple microphones. XM8500 is what you're listening to me on, and that's what it looks like. But what you will note if you use arms, the Samsung is a bit more girthy. So you'll see that's a lot thinner and that's a lot more girthy, which means if you're gonna put it onto your stand, you want to use the original holder that it came with. Otherwise, you'll have problems getting it fitted in. So if I show you, it's kind of like a tight squeeze, but once it's in, it goes in. So you can use it like that, which I do like because obviously it's got its own stand, which is actually decent quality rubber feet, so it's like nice and it feels good. But if I want to put it here, I need to take the old one off, get that off, use the adapter. So you can get these adapters normally to bring it down the thread size. What am I doing? Okay, so I'm putting it onto here, which allows me to use a Samsung mic on my arm. These arms are available quite easily online, and then put it in there. It's gone in. Position it down here. Let me see if I can give you a direct comparison via XLR. I do have the XLR lead here because I'm prepared. Let me plug it in. It's not direct because that doesn't have the little foam one. Okay, test 1 2 3. So right now you're listening to me on the Samsung microphone, positioned similar distance away, and it's on the boom arm without the little foam on it. So now I'm going to go away from the Samsung and come back to the Behringer microphone over here. Let me put the little foam. Okay, so right now you're listening to me on the Samsung microphone, plugged in via the XLR cable and going directly into my mixer. I am noticing I've had to put it up a little bit higher in terms of the volume on my mixer board to allow me to give you the same kind of voice that I was getting from my Behringer. So if I go back to my Behringer, this is the Behringer. If I put the Behringer at the same volume I had this in terms of the dial, that's how loud the Behringer would get if I was to use the same details there. But I normally knock the Behringer back a slight bit. So there you go. That's a quick comparison of XLR power. I'll show you one with the USB now. I've got a clip I recorded so you can hear what it sounds like via USB. But you know what? We're testing this properly. So what I'm going to also do is use it via XLR. Yeah, so I'm going to show you it via XLR and mini jack. So, you know, the normal stuff you get like that. The plan is I'm going to put it into my DSLR camera. So I might even do a test for you using this mic via XLR to mic into a camcorder, which is then plugged in via HDMI to my OBS recording studio. So I want to get audio via the HDMI. So there we've done a little test now showing you how to use the microphone via XLR, how it sounds more or less. If you're using a camera, you can plug it directly into your camera via a, not special, but like a converting jack lead to a XLR. You can even use it via USB to your laptop or on your camcorder via the same lead. So what is the difference between an audio mixer and an audio interface? They're two different names, but if you're new to podcasting or even microphones, I'm going to try and help you explain the differences between the two. I've used both and I'll let you know why I use one over the other. So in terms of audio, when you're doing live streaming, you're probably going to want some type of audio. You can use USB microphones, which are perfectly fine, but at some point you're going to want something a bit more professional. So the first one here is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Now this is classed as an audio interface. What that means is you can put an XLR mic into it and that can be transferred into a USB which goes to your computer, so you can actually use it as a microphone. You can use XLR mics via this and go into your computer. It's like a sound card type of situation where it's giving you that adaptability to use something from a different XLR connection to your USB. So that's kind of along those lines. So what that will mean for you is you can use it to put in mics and the mics can then be placed into your computer. This one that I'm showing you has one XLR. What that means is you can plug one microphone into it and control it on the front of that system. So you've got a gain control, which is basically how loud and control it gets. You can put your headphones into it and monitor what you're saying via the system. So that's what an interface is. It creates an interface for one item plug to your computer. So now when I say what's the difference between that and a mixer board, here is a mix. It's a Behringer. Not the best, not my favorite, but when I initially started, I used it and I was happy for it. So you'll see on the board on the top here, there's 4 XLR options, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can plug in 4 microphones there. So in my example, I've got one microphone here, then I've got one microphone on my standing desk over there. So I use 2 of these on my Yamaha mixer board, which is different to this Behringer, different brand. So I use the Yamaha MG10XU, the 4 XLR version, and I don't have to do any other processing on my voice. When I do a live stream or recording, it's as it is, as it comes out, and it's actually very good quality. So that is based on your ear. When you hear good quality audio, you'll know what I'm talking about and how that affects you. When I got good quality mixing board, I was able to set it to my ear and then hear my old videos that I created and what they sounded like versus the new ones. So it kind of gives you an idea of what a mixing board can do for you. Interfaces do a similar thing, but you don't have as much adaptability. So you'll see on this mixer board, we've got a number of options and knobs on there. You've got equalizer, you've got mid control and high, and well, mid, low, and then additional effects control. What that basically means is if you tend to have a slightly higher pitched voice, you can use those knobs to kind of adjust the voice to make it sound a bit more deeper or a bit more masculine or a bit different. So that's what it helps you with. Also, it makes the voice sound nicer overall and balanced. So that's giving you the extra option there. And in addition to that, you have got options to add effects. So if you do live streaming in terms of gaming and stuff, in these you can actually have, well, in the Behringer ones you don't have it, but in the Yamaha MG10XU that I have, like this one here, okay, there's an MG10XU which has 4, and it has like that. You can see the little 24 number there. It's got effects on it. So when you press the button, you can actually add echo and a bit more effects to your stream. So if you're doing a live stream, a lot of gamers do this where they press a button and it makes it more echoey and you can do like an effect. So in that example, you're doing that live, which is quite a powerful thing to do in terms of editing. So that's a quick look at differences between a mixing board and an audio interface. And why is my video lagging if I'm using a capture card and the audio is not synced up? So the main reason you're going to get it lagging is a number of things. You'll notice right now, this video I'm recording, my video is separate, my audio is separate. So there's a few things you want to think about. The first thing is, when you're recording your video, are you using a camera via a capture card into a software? So you need to make sure and find out where is the microphone plugged in. Which microphone are you using? If you're using a camera and it's got a HDMI cable plugged in, are you able to use the HDMI audio along the HDMI is a question. Some cameras allow that, some capture cards won't capture it. I did a video about that and I tested it. I wasn't able to capture it using my camcorders, so that did not work for me. So what I had to do was I used a separate microphone setup and configured that as a microphone. You could even use a bunch of headphones, plug them in, use that mic as your main source, and that should not be out of sync. If it is out of sync, what you want to do is look at a software that you can use to bring that into sync. OBS I've used a lot, I've done a number of videos on. What I would say to you is get OBS, set up your camera and your microphone in OBS, do a few test video recordings where you can make sure the audio and video are synced. When they are, then you can use that feed to go into Zoom, and then you know you're definitely going to be synced up. So that's basically answering the question about why is my video and audio lagging with the capture card. That's one scenario. There can be other scenarios, things like the camera that you've got plugged in isn't at the same recording settings as your microphone. So for example, the frame rates and there will be a bit of latency from the camera to the computer, so that will be an option. But I think the OBS way I've talked about will be a good one. Can you improve your audio on your mobile phone by plugging in a USB microphone? You know what? You can, and it actually sounds pretty decent. Let me show you exactly how. Just by chance, I plugged it into my mobile phone, and you know what? The USB light came on. So the light came on, which means it's powered on. So I've actually used an on-the-go cable, which is a USB cable. I've plugged in the mic straight into the mobile phone, and I'm using this microphone, which I'll give you an inserted audio to let you know how it sounds. Let's just record a video. Make sure I'm recording. Okay, hello. I am currently recording this video with a microphone plugged into my mobile phone via on-the-go USB cable. I'm speaking quite close into the mic now. Let me move it away. How does that sound if it's a bit further away? So stop that. Can I just play it now just to see what it sounds like here? I'll insert that clip in. Okay, so the moral of the story is, yes, you can use a microphone, USB powered on directly into your mobile phone. You can use it for podcasting as well. Let me show you how that would work. Let's plug this in. So say, for example, I was doing an audio. Let me open up Recorder and then press record. Of course, with the microphone, it does come with a holder, so you can, in theory, set up the mic in a way that lets you position it in front of yourself so you can record on it. So let's just have a look here. So there you go. Now I could record directly into the microphone. So let's get that a bit closer. Okay, this is a test for my mobile phone recording. You'll see if I get closer to the microphone, it will sound a lot better because this is a more of a condenser microphone. Hello, testing 1 2. If I make that a little bit higher, oh okay, that just controls the volume on there. Interesting. Okay, so there you go, a USB microphone directly into your mobile phone.